Man.
There we are.
Back. I didn't want to leave.
It was fun. Sorry about the quality. It was 2 a.m.
Well, you know, it's night, but it's awesome. That's one of the art cars, and they had art cars that were everything from completely bizarre alien, like remora fish, to the old-fashioned stagecoach.
70,000 people, Black Rock Desert. It's not a music concert or anything, a festival. It's just a bunch of people hanging out, like looking at cool stuff, and they have art installations everywhere. If you hadn't heard about this before,
it's really good. It's fire and everything. But anyway, it's nice to be back. And good morning, everybody on Facebook. Good morning, Marianne. How are you? Good morning, Lisa. I know this is going to be a good morning, though. I'm excited.
Hey, you know, a lot of people say, "Hey, was it hot there?" The answer is, "Dang right it is." This is my favorite thing. This is my favorite. That is a ceiling of a dance place. Yeah. It's a solid steel plate with a hole in it. They put propane down in it. Propane's heavier than air. They light it on fire, and that is the effect you get. And it was all the dancers were falling over each other, and here's something creepy for you.
Oh, no, that's not creepy. That's epic. I was so excited. Look at them. They look so cute.
You get anybody who's on the edge, and these guys walk up to you, you're gone. Next thing you know, you're in therapy.
I think the little monkey's
the
cutest.
Gosh.
Look at him. Anyway, it was such an epic day, and it was such an epic night, and it was over and over again. It was amazing, but it's nice to be back because it's cooler here, and we have air conditioning. And the morning mountain camp, it's brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. That's electric, plumbing, heating, and air. It looks so much calmer here than it did there.
Yeah, that's because it's green.
Oh, yeah, that would be why.
All right, coming up, 4 great stories. What do we got?
Oh, man. Okay, first of all, the thing with the nurse. The thing.
We'll talk about that.
There's a big fallout.
A dad kidnaps his own kids, and not in a bad way. He just does it to teach his babysitter a lesson. Oh, my God.
It's free corn day at Kuahara's Farmers Market. We say free corn. It is free hot buttered grilled corn.
And it's also free corn day. Starts at 11, goes till 7 because it's that good.
We're going to mention it twice. It was that exciting.
Yeah. Oh, did I mention it's free corn day? It's free corn day.
Also, how you can help Hurricane Harvey pets. It's going to be a good day.
So we come back to this thing.
This thing with the nurse.
The thing with the nurse at the University of Utah Hospital. The cop arrests the nurse. She's following protocol. They want a blood sample. The weird thing is they wanted a blood sample. There was an accident. And as you can see, it's just like he's a veteran cop. He knows protocol. He throws her in cuffs, puts her in an unmarked car, and arrests her.
Oh, by the way, I'd like to thank the University of Utah police officer who just basically hit the open door for her and did nothing to help her when she was calling out. Like, can you help me?
But the other guy's trying to stop. But anyway.
In any case, there was one guy who was brave enough to keep going out.
Who has ever been treated by a nurse, is related to a nurse, is studying to be a nurse, is a retired nurse. Yeah.
And especially since
she's just following the rules.
You could see in her expression in her face, because there's people I've seen on camera before where you're like, you were really being a jerk. And even then, you don't deserve to be treated brutally. But with her, it was so obvious that she wasn't being rude or trying to block anything. She was simply following protocol.
I do.
And so I know that the University of Utah police stood up, and I'm proud of this. They said it was absolutely unacceptable that the officers did not protect her. She was a University of Utah employee. It was absolutely their job. So thanks for just opening the doors. They dragged her out. That was super helpful.
And then the weird thing, all these little facts are coming out now. I heard yesterday the blood sample was from the victim of the crash, not the person who's being prosecuted with it. Yeah. And so they just wanted his what?
So I don't know, but the nice thing, University of Utah hospital officials announced changes with protocol. Mm-hmm. The nurses no longer work directly with law enforcement. They now have to work with administration, which I think is fair because it might be scarier for them to have to drag out a hospital administrator. Alex Webbles is okay now. I mean, they banged her up pretty.
It happened July 26th.
Pretty intensely, but he says for our nurses and staff, this isn't going to happen again. And to that end, we're changing and have changed our interface protocols with law enforcement officials. I love phrases like that, interface protocols.
Officer Payne is on leave, and he's got a part-time EMT job, and he works security at Denny's. So at least Denny's, he has a future.
Well, see, there you go. That's really nice.
I want to tell you about...
Salt Lake, Pierce, who's one of the heads up there, it was pretty cool. He said the arrest was totally unacceptable, and he commended Webbles for what she described as grace under fire. She said the situation has been really traumatic for all of us, but it's reminded us how outstanding our medical staff here is, that they are determined to protect the patient first and do protocol that was designed to make sure each patient is protected.
And the law. She's protecting the law.
It's not like it was... Yeah. It's very funny.
What the hell's going on, people?
I'm just really disappointed by that. But I like the fact that at least now they're standing up and going, we'll make some changes and we're sorry. Now, how did the city handle that? Because I know that finally...
I just saw that part of the press conference.
Stood up and...
Yeah, everyone stood up, said, we messed up good, and we're going to fix it. I wonder what the settlement's going to be. What was the one comment on our Facebook page?
Why does everything have to end up in a lawsuit? And I'm like, he goes, he just gave him a 30-day paid suspension and let him think about it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because
this guy's a veteran.
He was absolutely brutal and was throwing away his weight. And literally 99.9% of the other comments on Facebook were like, how did this happen? And why did it happen? And is she okay? And when is she going to buy her island with a settlement because she deserves one?
And I found the story on CNN.
Oh, no, it's international now. This isn't going to be hidden, so...
Well, those nurses, troublemakers right from the start.
You could see that right on her face.
I want to tell you a story about tough love.
Okay. Is this going to scare me? It is, isn't it?
Dad comes home. He's got his kids, being babysat, right?
Okay.
And he walks in, and the girl is asleep on the couch.
The babysitter or the kid?
Babysitter. So...
Ooh, that's not good.
He quietly scoops up his kids and leaves the house.
What?
He is setting her up to think that the kids have been kidnapped. Wow.
This seems extreme to me. You could just stand over her and wake her up by blowing into a paper bag and
right.
Something like
which a lot of people haven't done in a long time.
That's true, and this is true. It's an underused art. I'm going to be honest with you. So, what was the conversation?
Oh, the conversation. She starts blowing up his phone, sending texts.
I don't know what's going on.
Answer the phone. He goes, I can't. I'm working. I got bad reception, whatever. And she keeps going. It keeps going. Escalate. Did you call the police? That's the part I question. The fact that the police said, well, call the parents, and the police didn't get involved. So
you would think a kidnapped child thing would be, yeah.
He rode this thing out forever. It was like an hour until he finally told her.
Good.
That's a long time.
She deserved to be terrified. If that were my kids,
I would.
I would
never sleep again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, and it's probably kind of cruel on her.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, now I've seen a lot of really interesting pictures when people get married, when they get
Let's
pregnant.
Let's talk about that. Like what? Like, give some examples.
Well, there was a big thing after Demi Moore where she was posed naked, holding the important parts in her belly.
Right.
There was a whole bunch of those, including a couple of my girlfriends who sent them to me, and I wish they hadn't.
I think pregnant women are gorgeous.
And there's some, for instance, our niece Stephanie did this beautiful thing in a really pretty white dress, and she's holding her tummy, and it was, oh my God, my eyes teared up, because it was so pretty to see.
And there's just so many ways to do it, and
exactly.
to unveil the sex of the baby, the balloons, and all the blue and pink and stuff.
So many cute ways.
So many cute ways. Well, in Ohio, what this lady decided, her name is Emily, she decided to be covered in bees. Let's look, shall we?
Are you kidding me? Oh, look, the bees are on my face and they're all over my stomach. I'm not sure which is creepier, the fact that she's doing the maternal hi thing or the fact she's bees on my face.
Get me out of here.
I like bees.
I
Todd
do too.
and I root for bees. We would like to have a beehive in our backyard, but I don't want to be covered in them. And I just think... Maybe I'm wrong, ladies, and you can back me up or tell me I'm no, but you get that psychotic hormonal protective thing over the baby and the tummy anyway.
Now,
and
bees.
I just can't picture myself covering my stomach with my twins in it with bees.
She got bit 3 times by accident. She said it was her fault. She moved her arm, didn't realize that she had a bee, and then she sat on one, and that one...
to the point where she irritates them enough to all sting her stomach at the same time.
Gosh.
Just for me, that
covered
seems...
in bees. She's a full-time beekeeper, so
well, maybe she
obviously
knows better, I guess.
And she does, but bees, why would you...
I respect your love of bees, but
muskrats, I see. Muskrats, otters, covered in otters.
Well, I'm glad she's not like a badger keeper or something.
Platypuses.
That would have been a lot worse. A platypus, now that would be cute.
Not one. You'd have to have a herd.
A multiple platypi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, platypi.
The multiple platypi.
She has an interesting fact, though, that I did not know.
Okay.
Honeybees are responsible for 1 in every 3 bites of food we eat.
Oh, bees are crucial. They are everything.
So everything but meat products, I would imagine she's saying, if we didn't have bees, we would die. And hence I cover myself in bees.
I'm okay. Now that's even less inspiring. After that, you're gonna die, and I'm covered in bees. It's like,
I will never forget that image.
just the statement is equally as depressing.
Well, there must be a logic behind it.
Well, no, it's
bees,
very, very true. And
bees are
birth, procreation.
I got nothing.
Well, anyway,
it's like she had something in her backyard and she used it.
I guess. There's flowers too. You could get some daisies.
We have. Let's see. We got a blue tarp.
We have the kids' trampoline.
We got a trampoline and a tarp.
We could do something.
That's a photo shoot waiting to happen.
Does this mean I can get pregnant again?
Let's move on. It's time for information with
Daisy.
Daisy.
You just mentioned it like it was a possibility that we could have another baby. Just a little one.
They all start off little, then they smell.
Small one.
Then they get bigger and smellier and bigger and smellier. Let's talk about Daisy coming up next.
Fine. Okay, Daisy is brought to you, of course, by Fink & McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com for all the information. Also by Executive Transportation, the official limo service of the Todd and Erin Morning Stream. I got really good reports from one of our winners who went to Christopher's saying how epic March was. Just go to executiveutah.com to book your ride. And all Utah plumbing, heating, and air. I think you're going out to shoot another episode with John today.
I can't wait.
24-hour service, baby. Good morning, my dear Daisy. What is going on today?
Hello, everyone. Here's what's making headlines Tuesday, September 5th on GephartDaily.com. The 16-year-old boy seriously wounded during an officer-involved shooting early Sunday morning is expected to survive. The teen was shot by a Cottonwood Heights policeman about 3:30 a.m. after leading officers on a high-speed chase on northbound I-15. Investigators say the teen bailed from his car after crashing near 1300 South and was shot during the subsequent foot pursuit. Police say a gun was recovered at the scene of the shooting. The officer who pulled the trigger has been placed on administrative leave. A West Valley police officer was injured Saturday night after smashing his squad car into a couple of parked cars near 2700 West and 3100 South. The accident happened around 11 p.m. when the officer was attempting to pursue a suspected car thief. The thief gave officers the slip, although the stolen car he was in was later recovered in a nearby neighborhood. And if traveling by air isn't irritating enough, imagine what it was like for passengers at Salt Lake International who were exposed to a blast of bear spray Sunday morning. An airport spokesman told Gebhardt Daily the spray was accidentally released by an airline employee after it was confiscated from a passenger during the ticketing process. 5 ticket counters in Terminal 1 were closed while dozens of flyers were moved to an outside waiting area until the air cleared. Airport operations continued as normal. And now a quick look at the Wasatch Front forecast, where temperatures will be in the mid to low 90s for the next 3 days. Nighttime lows in the upper 60s. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GebhardtDaily.com. And Todd and Erin, back to you.
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink & McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. Just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down though if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
Seriously, if you're a person with money out there, I'd like to be your friend.
Yeah, there's a certain elegant simplicity about Jeff Stout when he talks about mortgages that just mesmerizes me.
This is something cool, and it's one of those things that they come up with a plan and they utilize it, and it works.
Well, the most interesting thing, I think the time we first heard about this is when they started the Naxaline pilot program, and they were actually giving it to librarians.
Slow down. What is it called?
Okay, it's the Naxaline Kit program,
Naxaline.
and basically the thing that's so amazing about this medication, it can be applied nasally and it reverses the effects of a severe opioid overdose.
And
So-
they say that turns the thing around in like no time at all.
It's literally a miracle. They have distributed about 3,100 Naxalin kits with the money, spreading them out to different people who are responsible for administering. Just the fact that you would have to give it to librarians, but if you think about it,
Right.
that's where homeless would congregate. They said
$236,000.
since then they've reported 46 opioid. I hate that word. Overdoses since January 1st.
Since January 1st, how many?
41.
That's 41.
46 people have been saved, and they think they've saved an additional 25 lives for people who are like right on the edge and ready to go into the overdose. So
And the rest of the year still here. And so
Hundreds of people, yeah.
$236,000 divided by, let's say we round it off at 100, right? What's a life worth?
exactly.
And a life worth saving, and then rehab, and then better, and then continuing. It's a good plan.
So anyway, that
Wow, government,
way
what
to
are
go.
you up to?
That makes me very proud for the state of Utah, and that was such a
Crazy.
smart thing.
Crazy people.
Well, it was cool.
It is cool. It's a cool story.
Okay, now what is this with bear spray? When did this become a thing? When did bear spray become a thing?
You've seen the.
Daisy just had it in the story.
I know. You've seen the deal at the airport where they have a box and they say most confiscated items,
Yeah.
They actually show a replica gun, and they got knives, and they've got liquids that you're not supposed to over 4 ounces, and they have it all there, and it's all look at what bad people have brought to the airport.
That was ill-advised.
Bear spray is mace. It's made with pepper. It's a pepper spray, and they found one at the airport in the screening, which is why screening is there.
Yeah.
It's usually a canister. It's about that tall. It's got a good grip on it. A trigger, a pin you pull, trigger, bear, stop.
How many bears did they think they would be encountering at the airport?
I think they just forgot they had it.
Okay,
but
now let's be honest though. No, you just described it. A bear spray canister is not something you go, oh, it's like I forgot my hairspray in my purse.
deodorant, right?
It's not. It's like you've invested time to go, this is my bear spray.
Right.
And they will be taking it with us.
So
my next question is, where were you planning on encountering bears? And apparently they have this problem in West Valley City all the time because, we've heard about West Fest.
That just started.
So when does this become a thing?
So everything was fine. The security guy took the bear spray from the gentleman. No problems there. And then decided to pull the pin and test it out. Wanted to know what it smelled like. So they cleared part of the terminal at the international airport here in Salt Lake City. And I'm sure they're having a little talk to about...
Hey, y'all, watch this. Really?
It does smell a little peppery, doesn't it? Yeah, it's mace. It's horrible stuff. And plus the fact
Why
that
would you have done that?
if you're not smart enough to not take bear spray to the airport, maybe you should let the bear eat you instead. In like a Darwin thing.
At this point, yeah, really.
Yeah.
Let's just move it along.
But the security guy, nice going. Good job.
Okay, so far on the bright side, no one has reported bear spray at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse, so I still feel comfortable sending you there for the big thank you. Because the best way to say thank you to people for sticking by you and being part of the community here on the morning stream is basically through meat. And we're talking glorious meat. We're talking meat so magnificent that you could cut it with a butter knife. A filet so tender, so glorious, that you will never forget it for the rest of your life. It will be that meal that makes you misty.
So all you have to do is do what?
So basically, if you would like to get dinner for 4, also we give you limousine service from Executive Transportation back and forth from your house. I just set up 3 of these, as a matter of fact. And then you have a wonderful dinner. You're limousine back home, and all you have to do is enter to win on one of our Facebook pages. If you've been watching this far into the show, if you leave a comment now, it will show up, and we'll see the time where you commented, so we know that you were listening to us talk about Christopher's.
Cool.
And it automatically enters you. And then on Friday, we shall draw another winner.
Here's an afterthought about the bear spray at the airport. Him trying it out. I'm really glad it wasn't like a flamethrower or a hand grenade.
I bet this one's inert. I'm just gonna pull. Yeah, I guess it could be worse.
This is a paperweight, and I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. Yeah. Anyway, so coming up, what do we got?
Bear spray is a thing. All right, coming up in just a couple of minutes, Moab is heading to Houston. We'll tell you why and how you can help the Hurricane Harvey pets. There's so many displaced.
Coming up next.
Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. Fink and McGregor, mortgages made simple. Make sure you go to fink-mcgregor.com and try out their 4-minute mortgage program. It's incredibly easy to find out whether you qualify. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
Black Rock Desert. This was an incredible thing. You could see it from across the desert.
Now, this is one of our favorite things because when we were at Burning Man, the art installations there are incredible, and people come up with ideas that they've waited forever to do, and you know, and they work extremely hard. But this tree was incredible because it would basically shade through all the different shades of the season. So it started white with winter snow, and then it would go into these beautiful pale spring green leaves.
And if you want to know why everyone is lit up, it's so you don't run them over with your bike, because everyone gets around with bikes because it's 4 miles across. Look at this thing.
Isn't that gorgeous? There's your spring.
And it took me so long to figure it out. I thought it was being projected on there. They're actually semi-clear pods, and they have all the different LED colors inside of them.
Every one of those is an individual shaped leaf.
And each
that's an
one
LED
can
leaf.
do all those colors in each one, and it's all synchronized with computers and such.
That was hands down, I think, my
That's
favorite.
freaking awesome.
It was exquisite. It really was. So anyway,
There you go.
just a little bit of what we were doing over the weekend in the desert. Too.
Causing trouble.
Always. Okay.
100 degrees.
Now, I think this is so wonderful. Moab, if you've ever been down there, you've probably had dinner at the Sunset Grill. It's actually rated
been there, yeah.
Internationally. People say, here's some of the best places to eat in Utah.
Right.
Sunset Grill always pops up. And they said, you know what, we've had so many people come here from Houston and from Texas. It's like, we've got to go do something. Well, here's something they've got that a lot of people don't. John and Laurie Clayton, who started the Sunset Grill, have a gigantic mobile kitchen. Now, they've used this. Yeah, they've used this for wildfire emergencies. Oh, you don't screw around with them.
Oh my gosh.
They've used this for wildfire emergency food preparation for 6 years, and so they know how to do a huge amount of food, really good food, in a big, quick time. So they provide 1,000 meals a day. And so they've been raising money on their GoFundMe page saying, we're the real deal. We may be a small wildlife caterer, but we can go where no other caterer can go. 4x4 mountain roads, narrow switchbacks, floods, and now to Texas to feed those in need.
That's crazy.
We're moving up I'm losing my words. We're loading up the mobile kitchen along with our support trailer. So they're asking for donations to help pay for some of the food. And they were kind of doing a few things like, hey, other Moab kitchens, while you're ordering food this week, because they get everything in bulk, could you put in an extra an extra case of beans for us, or an extra this or that? But I love the concept of what they're doing because it's logical. It can help.
And they step in, and
they're suited for it.
They're taking some of the load off the other agencies, federal agencies. And you know what's so funny is we used to collect canned goods, right? And then we'd ship them to Oklahoma when they had those F5 tornadoes. We all ended up going down with 6 tractor trailer loads.
Yeah.
But now, because that takes people to sort, it takes people to do all these different things, takes people out of the service area helping the people, that cash is the only way to go.
Yeah, FEMA and the Red Cross and all the other relief agencies already have kind of an infrastructure in place.
Right.
So if you do that, I have to tell you, I've been touched by everything that Utah's done, because this is what we do. I mean, there's an emergency, we all go, what can we do to help?
Right.
There was one radio station that chose to do this big fundraiser, but they insisted that it go through their radio station page, so that they filtered all of the donations.
So they could have a running tally.
And then they said, and then we're going to give the check to, the charities. But it's like, well, why wouldn't you just urge people to donate directly to the charity unless you were attempting to take ownership over this, like somehow you had saved Houston because you're this great radio station. It just seemed like they were attempting to take credit for the relief effort instead of just going, here's where the money should go.
Plus, next time that
because it would be super quick if you did it like that.
Because next time when there's an emergency and stuff like that, people would already be used to the site of going to the Red Cross.
It would be super easy. Run a nice banner across the top of your page, kind of like we all did.
Everyone did.
Except for them.
The radio station rhymes with KSL.
I know, it's really sad. Let's
Yeah.
talk about something we can all do to help. This is
Okay.
really cool. If you've been thinking about something else you can do and maybe pass the money,
There's a dog.
think about all the pets. And we've talked about this before. When there's a disaster,
Right.
People can't take their pets. They won't let them go to shelters. And maybe a lot of times the floodwaters came up too soon or the wind came over.
Kind of the last thing on your mind.
And but they're your family.
on the rescuer's mind.
Yeah, but they're
Right.
family. So they've been going down, and this is one thing I love about Best Friends. They're there. They come and they rescue the pets, and they found them in unbelievable places, perched on tiny
Right.
little floating islands of things or on top of roofs. But they've just flown in a bunch of pets from Hurricane Harvey. These are displaced animals whose
From
families-
where?
From Houston
To where?
here to Utah to Salt Lake City, because
I had no idea.
these are people who no longer can take care of the pets. Maybe they're homeless, or they can't locate the people, or perhaps they've died.
Or maybe they're being held until the people, like if they're chipped and stuff, right? They know who they are.
So this is cool. So all the animals are going to get examined by vets, going to make sure they're treated and taken care of, and then they will be open for adoption on September 22nd. And they're going to do a great big effort to do a super adoption. So if you've been thinking about something you'd like to do, this is interesting because our news director Patrick actually adopted a cat who had been abandoned after Hurricane Katrina.
Separated or something.
Yeah.
And so he did. That's right.
So this is your chance. If you're a pet lover and you've been wanting to do something, this is a cool thing, I think.
And plus the cat has a French accent. Louisiana, Cajun, French, Creole. Am I getting no, nothing? I got nothing. And if you want to donate anything to the shelter, they take money and blankets to keep the dogs off the concrete. I got to tell you, we've never been to a monster truck rally, but I'm going to now. And I know, I've seen pictures. My friends go and they have earmuffs for their kids because it's really loud.
Really, really loud.
And those trucks just jump around and it's just crazy. There's an event called Rednecks with Paychecks.
That is epic.
Which is great. And basically, they have the camouflage military trucks and stuff. And so anyway, so they have this situation going on. Well, Houston happened. Check this out. So they decided because
They got monster trucks.
they're high profile, they're huge tires, they could actually go in. They have the power too. They could go into the deep water, grab military vehicles like this one, and drag it out and get it to safety. Plus, they can go in and do rescues. So not only do you have
That
the
is
flotilla that was down at Katrina with everyone with their small Johnny boats and fishing boats and stuff, they all located, moved, and got to Houston. And now they're the force that goes in little boats, little civilian boats.
Yeah.
And now you got the monster truck.
That is freaking epic.
It's like, what's that noise, John? I don't know. We're trapped in our house. Oh wait, you won't believe this.
Redneck.
It's the it's the grave digger. He's here to help. It's a name of an actual truck.
I know. I remember that
Okay,
much.
all right, good.
All right, okay, this is a big deal. There's 18,000 people without power in Utah County, and that's actually grown. It started at 9 less
right
than an
now?
hour
Right
ago.
now?
Yeah. So this is a little frustrating, but they're saying Rocky Mountain Power said they're working on it. They are aware of it, and this is everyone from Eagle Mountain, Indian Burial Ground, Lehigh, and Saratoga Springs. It's a power line interruption, and there's really not a specific time when it's going to be reinstated. But they also said that it's very likely that more might be without power soon. Now, on the bright side, the website updates their information every 15 minutes on RockyMountainPower.net.
Right.
So you can go take a look and just kind of see where you're at. Although,
And
if
I will-
you're without power, you
Right.
can't get on your computer. You better hope your phone is charged so you can use your phone.
If not, you can go into your car and charge it there.
This is true. But
I would
anyway,
like to point out something too. This power outage we just talked about is going on right now at 7:29 on Tuesday morning. So if you're watching this on demand, don't worry about it.
fine.
Do you see all the earthquakes we had?
That was insane.
There's like 18 or something, all like Bear Lake and southern Idaho, and
we miss all the fun stuff.
You know why? Seen the moon out today at 7:29 on Tuesday morning.
Oh.
It's blood red because of the fires. Number 2, the eclipse just happened. Number 3, the earthquakes are happening. Number 4, frogs will rain from the sky.
I don't think that last one can actually be backed up scientifically.
You haven't seen it yet, have you?
All right. Okay, this is pretty cool. Kuahara Farmers Market.
Oh,
We actually went out and had a chance to tour the other week.
Free corn.
And it was not natural. Our love became filthy. We left there staggering because we had all this salsa and we had watermelon and we had local honey. By the way, if your kids have allergies, Zoe's starting to allergy up for fall. Local honey can dump the allergies in a way that you cannot believe.
It really helps some people.
It's the bees within a section of it's probably within like a 35-mile stretch of the Wasatch Front, and it makes a huge difference.
Because they eat the pollen. Here's the theory: is they eat the pollen that's affecting your kids or yourself, and this is building up a tolerance to it. Is that right?
Yeah, and it works beautifully.
And they're bees.
And they're bees.
But it's free corn from 11 to 7, and not just corn, buttered corn. Where is it cooked? On a grill. It's charred slightly.
Oh, yeah, they grill the sucker, then they just slather it with butter, sprinkle salt on it, hand it to you, and Todd and I did this, and there's like butter running down our elbows.
I
and
guarantee it.
It was so good. I actually took away the owner's ear of corn from him, and he was like, I was going to eat that. I went, no, not now.
And I guarantee you, and this is not a sales ploy. Well, it is actually. You eat one corn on the cob with their corn, and you will leave with a dozen. It's just that. And I'll be in the parking lot selling floss. So if you say the magic word, Todd, I'll give you 50% discount, and that is a money-making proposition.
8565 South State Street in Sandy, 8565 South State Street. This is going on from 11 to 7. Stop by for lunch.
Right.
Grab a buttload of corn. This stuff was amazing.
Okay, so on top of this, on top of the eclipse, on top of the strange moon going on this morning, on top of what else?
The free corn phenomena.
The power outage. The fires we saw in Nevada coming over hillsides and burning like incredibly was just the most bizarre thing, because we were down in a desert, nothing to burn, burning things on purpose, and then yet up in the mountains they were fighting the fires. And it was closing the roads down.
Yeah, they actually closed down everything off I-80 to Burning Man, which there's a certain irony. So burners were sitting there in their trailers going, "This sucks, man," because they couldn't actually get to the playa. But,
right.
And then on the way home, I'm shooting footage going, "That's about like quarter mile away from us." And there's sections where they can't really do anything, so they just
there's
kind
no
of
road to them, and it's cheatgrass, which burns really fast, and sagebrush. But there's antelopes in there and bunnies and snakes. So.
I'm sure they went very quickly. I'm sure they're fine. All right, coming up next. They're fine.
Went very quickly. I thought you meant to their demise.
No, they raced away quickly.
Oh, okay.
All right, coming up next, Brewvies is doing a free film festival.
Oh,
we'll
cool.
tell you why.
Yeah.
It's cool.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com?
You know, this is kind of strange because Brewvies isn't known as big, high, super profile, because it's really kind of a down-to-earth, let's eat some food, have a beer, and watch a movie kind of place.
Yeah, if you've never been there, it's just off.
It's really fun.
Off I-15 at 6 South. Big laid-back place, but yeah, you can order food, you can have a drink, you can sit and watch a movie.
Right.
And it's very, it's fun. It's just unpretentious. But they came under fire.
Under lawsuit kind of stuff.
A year and a half ago, because they said the Office of the Utah Attorney General said that they had violated the Alcohol Beverage Control Act by showing Deadpool. Now, if you've ever seen Deadpool, you already know it's pretty naughty.
It's hilarious.
But it's funnier than heck. And so they said, but that violated it because that movie was obscenity.
They had some butt shot or something in it. So they
started fighting and saying, well, no, we didn't. We followed everything. This is not obscenity. It's an R-rated movie. But and so they were going through this, and the situation actually went nationally, because anything that makes us look,
So Brewvies.
But anyway, so Ryan Reynolds, who's the star of Deadpool.
16 months of a lawsuit they were fighting. 16 months.
Ryan Reynolds, the star of Deadpool, as you know, and he actually tweeted, he said, well, isn't that delightful? They found a way to legislate fun in Utah. And he actually donated $5,000 to the legal fight, which I thought was cute. So anyway, on Thursday, August 31st, Chief Judge David Neufer of the U.S. District Court ruled in favor of Brewvies.
Yeah.
So to celebrate, they've immediately started showing films for free.
Oh, that's
funny.
Because
they wanted to thank everybody for their support. So, for instance, this Friday they've got Deadpool. and also Magic Mike, and then again on Saturday.
Magic
night,
Mike.
They have Deadpool as well. So
That's
all the shows are free. They just want you to come out and celebrate with them. I just thought it was funny. I like the fact that they're like, yeah,
David and Goliath,
we're
right?
showing it again.
They were going to take their license away. Did you know
Oh,
that?
it was brutal,
It was
yeah.
horrible. All right,
So-
Daisy is coming up next.
Daisy, of course, is brought to you by Think and McGregor. It's mortgages made simple. Just go to think-mcgregor.com. They have a 4-minute quiz that you can find out what kind of mortgages you're available for, and then someone will call you from the office less than a business day later. Also by Executive Transportation. Executive Transportation, a fleet of exquisite Escalades ready to take you anywhere. Just book your ride at executiveutah.com. And Black Diamond Experts. That's experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. You'll be glad you called an expert. blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what is happening now?
Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news Tuesday, September 5th on GephartDaily.com. Troubling news on the horizon as another major hurricane appears to be eyeing the U.S. mainland. Hurricane Irma is now a Category 5 storm with sustained winds of 140 miles an hour. If current models are right, Irma could be bearing down on southern Florida by the end of the week. The governor there has already declared a state of emergency. Another day, another threat of nuclear annihilation, courtesy of North Korea. A spokesman for South Korea says it appears the communist country is preparing to conduct another ballistic missile test. What makes this one extra special is North Korea's claim that it's now figured out how to load nuclear warheads onto their ICBMs. This weekend, the North Korean military set off a powerful underground nuclear device in defiance of the US and the United Nations. The Pentagon says it's considering a military response and all options are on the table. And ahoy to all you Texas swashbucklers. A new law means it is now legal to openly carry battle swords in the Lone Star State. The law, which went into effect September 1st, allows people to carry blades of any length, including swords. Before the change, Texas outlawed blades more than 5.5 inches long. That's it for now. For more headlines from around the country and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, Black Diamond Experts, when they say they're experts, there's a reason for this. They're trying to tell you they are experts at literally anything that can go wrong in your house. Unless you punched a hole through the drywall, and that's something you're going to have to call your brother about. But with Black Diamond Experts, if there's electric, plumbing, heating, and air problems, you call them, they're there. As a matter of fact, they have 24-hour service, so you call them and they come. But the nice thing about it is whoever shows up at your door will be licensed, bonded, and insured. They'll come in, they'll take a look around, give you a bid, say this is what we can do, let us fix it for you. And when they're finished and it's fixed well and it's fixed done, it's fixed done. And it's done. The problem's done.
That's why you're not a plumber.
And the bid will be what you pay is exactly what the bid was. And that's a nice thing to know, that they stick by their word and they make sure that it's done properly. So if this is something where you kind of need a person, you need to have someone who's good at this stuff and you're not sure you've got anyone you count on, Black Diamond Experts, all you have to do is go to blackdiamondexpert.com. Okay, this is so perfect because we go through this every single time. I mean, every single time we fly, we get a weird one. Right?
Yeah.
Or we're the weird
We've been
one.
on planes where someone decided to take their shoes off and they have a foot issue. Like major foot issue. Another lady painting her nails on a plane.
And it was strong. But it was funny. They had this huge discussion going on Reddit, and they were asking people their horror stories. And I'll read these for hours because they're so much fun. This poor gentleman was on an Air India flight, and he said, my seatmates were an Afghan guy and his little brother. After a peaceful 5 hours of sleep, I woke up to find out that my headphones were missing. I turned left and found out the little brother was using them. I went, okay, not a big issue.
There you go.
I can lend them to you for the flight. And then I went back to sleep, and somewhere along the line, I felt my comforter being pulled off my body.
Nah.
I opened my eyes and saw the guy was cleaning his teeth using my comforter while his own comforter was on him. He was using his comforter as dental floss or a toothbrush, kind of.
Ooh.
And he says, my eyes opened wide in shock, but he seemed indifferent. This one's, everyone's been through this too. A very large gentleman took the seat next to me. He legitimately did not fit in the seat, and as happens a lot, cabins are hot,
right.
Close quarters.
Right.
He was sweating profusely. Within
Right.
5 minutes of his sitting down, he asked me that he wanted to raise the armrest. And he said his body was literally molding around it, and I was already sharing my seat. And I said I did mind, and I didn't want it to to be raised.
Right.
So fast forward 2 hours, my right side is literally completely soaked from ankle to shoulder in his sweat. And as we left, he said, "You're a very rude person,"
Well,
because of the armrest.
Very wet.
Yes, I'm also damp. So this one's troubling. When you're 21 and especially when you're a new mom, you don't have as much
Finesse.
sticking up for yourself.
All right.
And this woman said that I was breastfeeding my first child, and at 21 I was an inexperienced mother, had a little blanket over her.
Sure.
A couple on the flight had an argument, so the husband stormed off and unfortunately decided to sit next to me, and then proceeded to take far too much interest in my nursing and asked several questions and even asked if he could film it. She said now I could, of course, tell him to get lost and throw him out of the seat, but at the time, it's like, you need to put the phone away and
You need to go put your head in a toilet.
go
Blue toilet.
sit somewhere else.
Yeah. You're going to tell him the other one?
An Air Asia flight. This is our favorite. This has actually happened to a girlfriend of ours.
Dead body Denise.
Yes, and that will explain something. Tyler Cook's an engineering student. I was on a long flight in Asia on a fully loaded 747. About midway through the flight, I noticed that the man who was sitting next to me was very pale, very clammy, and looked very unwell. So I tried to shake him and wake him up, like, dude, I think you need medical help.
Right.
And I wasn't able to wake him up. So I got the attention of a flight agent and asked them to come over. And they managed to find a doctor. And the doctor pronounced the passenger dead. Unfortunately, there were no empty seats on this flight. So I was forced to sit next to the corpse.
Dead guy.
And they said, we don't really want anyone to get upset. So they carefully covered the corpse up with a blanket and strapped him in and just
So like he was going to sleep.
sort of left him there. And Dave said he just sat like this, rigid against the bulkhead
Yeah.
for the rest of the flight.
You know, the good thing is that he got the free peanuts. Both. He could order for this guy's. Tell him that they're going to pay later.
That's looking at a glass half full, isn't it?
Same thing with our friend Denise, though.
Oh, this poor woman.
And Denise is like, we call her Dead Body Denise because she was property manager, like apartments and stuff. So over the years, she has seen a total of like 12.
No, I think she's just 13. She actually called us in ecstasy the day she hit double digits. Double digits! My latest corpse! And we're like,
So they came up and they said, listen, the guy next to you has passed away. And she goes, yeah? And I said, well, we have no place to put him. Much like this story. And she goes, you can just leave him there. That's fine. It's only about 3 hours.
you know what?
We can do that.
He's not going to stink by then, so... No, but she was horrifyingly calm because it's Denise.
She's
She's
so
like, yeah,
calm.
okay.
So
It's
calm.
not like it's the first time. This one I thought was funny. This was a guy who busted himself. He said, I had a half a glass of wine and I fell asleep exhausted. The plane was dark and quiet. And he says, I don't know exactly what happened, but apparently in my sleep I had a terrible dream because I sat up, gripped the lapels of my fellow passenger and said, there's something wrong with this plane.
Oh, God.
Now, the poor guy woke up with a start, and luckily he didn't slug me. He kindly patted me and said, everything is fine, don't worry. And I turned my back and apparently said, oh, thank you, and fell asleep again. He said, when I woke up, I was mortified. Can
Lucky
you
you weren't
imagine
in
waking
jail.
up going, there's something wrong with this plane?
Stewardess, ting, ting.
Please make him go away from
Oh,
me.
my gosh.
They
All right.
like to be called flight attendants, by the way.
What did I call him?
Stewardess.
Executive...
All right.
Okay.
Coming up next, this is amazing. There's a political candidate that wants to remind you that she's white in the Deep South. And there is a Utah photographer, I'm in love with this girl, who saved an Oregon couple's wedding.
It's coming up next.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning Stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com.
All right, so we came back and we just kind of found this out. Rio Grande, obviously, the homeless shelter with the road home down there, the services, the 4th Street Medical Clinic dealing with the homeless situation. And they started Plan 1, or Phase 1, where they went down and made 263 arrests.
A ridiculous amount, and that was for various outstanding felonies and warrants and stuff.
Drugs.
One of the questions they had, though, are you...
Excuse me, they say drugs because the drug dealers were preying on the homeless people.
Yeah, one of the weakest
Okay.
members of our population.
Right.
And so they were saying, well, is the next step treatment? Because we really haven't seen any of that. We've just seen
Right.
arrests. And so we're kind of hoping that's going to be next. But this is interesting. Jackie Biskupski, the mayor of Salt Lake, agreed to close off part of the road, which I thought was interesting. They used front-end loaders to place concrete barriers, excuse me, on Rio Grande from 2nd South to the south perimeters of the Road Home Shelter and the Catholic Community Services property lines. So they're blocking off the area from what they say are drug dealers preying on people who are experiencing homelessness.
They also, then some of the local guys said, you can't close this down, it's a public street. And then they referred to the street as McDonald's drive-through for drugs.
That seems a little harsh, but it's interesting. So everyone, I feel bad though, because a lot of the property owners down there, they've gone through so much. In Rio Grande Cafe, who is like, I mean, that's like ground zero.
Oh my God.
Brian said, I couldn't be happier. He said that he really does think it's going to help. He says ideally it'll be a lot more secure. But it's interesting how difficult that was for them to agree to block the street off, because there were a lot of questions of legality and is this even a good idea?
One of the really good things, and I think everybody has to know this, is the fact that because of the heightened awareness of what goes on down there and about the drug deal and stuff like that, donations are down at the road home. Now, with a street blocked off, you're going to think even more so.
Oh, yeah, they're closed.
But it's not.
No.
That part is open. And if you need to know, and you should, is what you do if you make donations of clothing or things like that, or diapers size 4 and 5.
Always.
Because?
Sunblock. Because you can't potty train a toddler when you don't have a
when
bathroom.
you're homeless. Okay. So basically, if you've ever donated there, you know that you pull up to a fence, you honk your horn, the fence opens, you go in, it closes behind you. Gentlemen and ladies come out, they take your stuff. Once again, a gate opens and you leave. You're totally safe to make those donations, and I think that's really important.
And they have never needed them more. I'm not sure if this was timing or whatever, but Mayor Jackie Biskupski made the announcement that she was going to switch the homeless into 3 or 4 separate shelters last December, literally on the day the Road Home started their big fundraiser, which is all the money they count on for the entire year. And their donations were halved this year because everyone thought, oh, they're going to be closed, so why would I bother? So, no, they're very much open. They will be open for the next 2 years serving the homeless. And if you can help them, if you can support them, please, oh, please, oh, please do. They really need the help.
They really do.
And these are the people who take such good care, and they get them the services they need, and they get them in and out and into other places. And
do you know the average stay at the Road Home is 4 days?
And that's because they find low-rent apartments
or
low...
or relatives in other places,
Yeah.
so they can go. And a lot of the people and a lot of the females and males are escaping from domestic abuse. And so 4 days, they have services, boom, 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 gone.
Yeah.
4 days.
They still need our help.
Kimberly Page, not Barnett. This is in Charlotte.
This is Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, so I want you to think about politics for a second. And let's say Erin. All right, let's say you're running for office.
I'm running for mayor.
What do you want me to know about you?
I would want you to know that I've worked really hard to fight crime, that maybe I have worked with some of the services in the city, like maybe for the homeless or for charity.
Sounds pretty good.
Maybe you'd like to know that I had a good connection with a lot of the city service people so that we could communicate and work with each other.
Okay, nice.
That I had concern about your property values and keeping you safe.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up here in town. I mean,
See?
These are my people.
This
I
keeps
get it.
getting better, doesn't it? And you know, thanks very much. And one thing you missed.
Oh.
Yeah, the Kimberly Page Barnett. She posts her campaign for mayor on Facebook, and it reads, "Vote for me, Kimberly Page Barnett. I'm Republican. I'm smart, white, and traditional." Once again, smart, white, traditional.
And she actually capitalized white. Just in case you missed it the first time.
She said her goal is to, we've got enough low-income people, so she's going to make plans to bring in more high-income people.
I don't think we should encourage low-income people to move here to Charlotte. We should be attracting higher-income people. And I'm white. Thank you, Kimberly. That tells me everything I need to know.
Welcome to 1872.
I'm white.
Wow.
In capital letters, don't forget. That was my favorite part.
Can I do the tell me something good?
Yes, because I think we need... I would like a palate cleanser after that one.
Once again, these start off kind of scary. And this brings us back down to Houston, northern Houston. And the elderly couple were waiting out the storm. And, up to this point, they were doing really good, high and dry. High and dry.
We're going to get through this. We'll be okay.
They're like, this is great. And then remember, they had to open some of the dams and stuff because they were going to breach.
And it was going into the outlying
it
neighborhoods.
could crush downtown if those dams let loose. So they were forced to make a tough decision. Well, the water started coming up, and the couple suddenly found themselves unable to evacuate. And they were really scared.
And they're the ones most at risk. They're the elderly. They're not as physically capable of removing themselves and getting out on their own.
So they made a phone call. They didn't know who to call. So they called the people that they had done business with quite a bit, Chick-fil-A. And they ordered 2 grilled chicken burritos with extra egg and a rescue boat. A rescue boat. So the manager realizes who this is.
And he's thinking, I
He
got to do
knows-
more than just extra waffle fries.
And she calls her husband, who has a boat.
I think they were jet skis, weren't they?
No, he took out a boat, and he worked his way over. These are great grandparents to their house, and started to offer help. Now, they had gathered a bunch of their stuff together.
Oh my gosh, there's a picture. Oh my gosh.
But the jet skis showed up first. And the jet ski people, grandma on one, grandpa on two, hanging on, and then they buzzed them off to safety. The guy with the boat went in, grabbed the valuables like their photo albums and stuff like that, and put them in the boat and followed the jet skis back. Well, when they got to shore,
That's freaking
grandpa
epic.
forgot something.
Oh crap.
He forgot his wallet. So the guy went back for it.
Oh, how darling can he be?
Chick-fil-A.
You know what? If you ever have a lack of faith in humanity, I think just reading and hearing some of the stories that have come out of Houston of what people
It's
have
always
done,
the heroes, right?
and how creative they've been, and how smart they've been, and how
Right.
they rescue people.
Right.
I mean, like the jet skis and the fishing boat. I mean,
How fun is
I don't know.
that?
I have mad respect. Okay, I have
And
one more.
we should mention, what's the new hurricane's name?
Oh, geez, is it Irma?
Irma something. Has turned into a Category 5. It's headed towards Puerto Rico. And that's a really, really strong storm, and they're looking at landfall probably around this weekend. It could be here as early as that. They're hoping it goes north, skirting the Florida, North Carolina, up that way, and not go into the Gulf.
Because Houston's really had its fair share.
So
I'm
everybody's
not
watching
sure they
that.
could. Yeah, one more is just about going to finish them off.
But the people who were Katrina, like the small boat people, the civilians, they took their boats over to Houston, and now they're starting to look at Florida again and seeing if they can go there to help. So there's some retired people out there having a great time and doing great work. So
and once
anyway.
again, if you do want to donate, the Red Cross, redcross.org is the easiest way. You can
Yeah.
text it in, you can do anything, and you don't have to go through another radio station's website, so they
Sure.
can take credit for it.
Crucial.
Let's do something nice. This is actually almost another tell me something good, because I just love this girl. Jenna Sawyer is a photographer from Provo. She owns Jenna Grace Photography.
Right.
Does a lot of beautiful family work. She does weddings, a lot of really pretty stuff.
All the photo opportunity.
Yeah, I went online actually and took a look at her website because it was so pretty. She was walking along the beach up in Oregon, there on the coast, and she was really enjoying it and thinking, this is beautiful. And she stumbled along a wedding on the coast, and she goes,
pretty.
"Oh, how pretty!" She goes, "Well, I'm kind of nosy," so she kind of stood over there and she
Picturesque.
was just watching because they looked so pretty.
Yeah.
And then she realized nobody was taking any pictures, and she went over and she said, "Do you guys have a photographer?" And Andrew Klein, who's the guy, said, "We've had 3 photographers bail on us." He goes,
Why?
"We've been planning this for 2 years because my wife was really, really sick, and one of our things is when she was trying to get better is we would visualize our wedding, and this is
Right.
what we were going to do, and
Right.
we had it all laid out and planned in
they're
our
on,
heads."
They're on the coast.
And so, and they said, they just stood there and they said, "Well, it's the one thing we didn't visualize, but I guess it's okay."
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that's so adorable. So she said, "Wait a minute," ran back, got her equipment,
Oh, cool.
stayed with the wedding party for over an hour. So Rachel, and this is before Rachel came down the aisle, started taking pictures. And she said, I think the best part about it was that Rachel didn't even know about me until she was essentially walking down the aisle. So I have pictures of her looking really confused at this random person who's taking pictures of her until I introduced myself as her impromptu wedding photographer. When she realized what she was doing for her, she broke down in tears and hugged her. And she said, you're one of the greatest miracles that's ever happened to us. And it's so, I mean, and Andrew said, I can't express in words how your kindness and generosity touched Rachel and myself yesterday. I know you were there spending time with family, but I'm so thankful that you sacrificed that time to be with us. I mean, so sweet and gracious. So for the next few hours, she took pictures of the couple doing all the cute poses and all the loving stares and the ones looking demure and down at her, you know, I don't know, just everything. And I just thought it was incredible. And it was such a...
Who was it?
It was such a gorgeous thing.
Who was it again?
And I actually got to her on Facebook and just said, hey, Jenna, would you mind if we talked about this? Because you're so cute
Right.
and I love you. And she said, no, you're absolutely welcome. She says, maybe people will get inspired by that and they'll want to do something for someone else someday. But once again, her website is Jenna Grace Photography.
And that's right here.
Yeah, and if you are looking for a magnificent photographer who apparently will go above and beyond, I'm
Right.
saying Jenna Grace Photography would probably be a good start.
Great story.
Don't you love that? And I love the picture of them. They're so cute.
Well, I got to tell you, we Erin and I took our annual trip to Burning Man in Nevada and had a great time and saw a bunch of stuff. And we try to explain this to people.
It's so hard.
70,000 people camping, all self-contained. They have bathrooms. They sell ice and coffee, and that's it.
And there's no monetary anything. Everything is given as a gift. And so Todd and I actually brought clothing to give away. Other people bring jewelry. Other people offer coffee, sunblock. I mean, there's a million different things. But the point
Here,
is,
start the video.
the point is, there was never in a community of 70,000 people. I never once saw anyone say anything mean to anyone. I never saw anyone be aggressive.
Right.
I never saw anyone push or shove,
Right.
even shove anyone else. It is pure love.
The only way to get around is on bicycle, and here I am chasing Erin across the desert, looking at all the art. So you guys have a good day. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream at GetPartDaily.com. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is pretty cool. Keep going.